Welcome to Frosting Your Gravy, everyone. Today I am inviting you to join me on making this chocolate zucchini cake with cream cheese chocolate. Whoa, whoa, frosting. It's good. Thank you, Papa Bear. We got our harvest of zucchinis today, the first time. And I thought it would be great to use some of that zucchini, thank you baby, to make a cake. And here it is. And the garden zucchini is pretty ridiculous, guys. Look at the size of it. We missed a couple of days of being in the garden because it was thunderstorming, muddy there, and then I stepped out this morning and it's like this. So I brought like 5 zucchinis in and was thinking what to use them for, Then I remembered that I have a fantastic recipe for a very moist and very delicious and very nutritious chocolate zucchini cake, walnuts or pecans, or you can replace them with chocolate chips. But here's the cake. One of our kids is actually ready to have a slice, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give us thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing if you like the videos that we put out. I encourage you to make this chocolate cake because as for the flavor, if my family has a choice to eat a cake from Walmart or Sam's Club or even one of those prepared from the box cake mixes into the cake or this, trust me, everybody will do both thumbs up for this zucchini cake. So if you're looking for a delicious, like not lacking in flavor, in fact superb to regular chocolate cake recipe, I encourage you to try this. I don't think you will be disappointed whatsoever. It is really yummy. And the frosting deserves its own recipe. The frosting is just a bomb. So easy. Just throw everything in your stand mixer and blend it together. The frosting is like, it's my favorite chocolate frosting for homemade. For today's recipe, I am going to engage my favorite kitchen helper, a stand mixer. But I have made plenty of cakes in a regular bowl with a hand mixer too. So if you don't have a stand mixer, no worries. Just throw it all in a regular bowl and whip it with a hand mixer. And right here is 1 stick of butter, very soft at room temperature. And half a cup of vegetable or olive oil, 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar, half a cup of packed tight brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to let my stand mixer whip it all together for about a minute. And of course, as it's going, stop the mixer sometimes and scrape the sides of the bowl with a spatula until it's really well combined for about a minute and a half. And that's what it will look like after the oils and the sugars are well combined. It looks nice and creamy. And it's time to add vanilla extract, and we're going to add as much as 2 teaspoons. I literally had exactly 2 teaspoons of vanilla left in my little jar, and it just always marvels me the way Jesus is. Even in the little things, I had precisely what I needed left. Is that not cool? With vanilla, I'm also adding 1 egg, and I'm gonna start mixing it for about 30 seconds until this egg is completely incorporated. And then one at a time, I'm going to add 2 more eggs for a total of 3 eggs for this recipe. But after adding each egg, just be sure to allow the mixer to blend it very, very well before adding the next one. Second egg and the third egg. Very important, our eggs were supposed to be room temperature. And also at this point, after the blending of the eggs, we're adding half a cup of buttermilk or Greek yogurt. Again, important, it needs to be at room temperature. If you're adding Greek yogurt, it's actually really thick, so with it, add 1 tablespoon of room temperature milk or water, because it needs to be slightly loosened up, not so thick. But buttermilk obviously is more runny. So I have half a cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can measure out half a cup of milk, and it needs to be room temperature, and add 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. Stir and leave it for 10 minutes, and it'll work the same as buttermilk. And time to blend this all together. All right, and at this step, right before we start adding our dry ingredients, our oven needs to be preheated to 375 degrees, and 9 by 13 pan, oiled, really well oiled and slightly floured, or just spread out parchment paper. And let's start sifting. Always sift our dry ingredients. Right here I have 1 cup of flour and 1/3 cup of baking cocoa powder, and also 1 heaping teaspoon of cinnamon powder. And I'm gonna return it back to my stand mixer. And at this point, we should not over mix. I'm going to allow this to blend for 20-30 seconds, just until the flour gets combined with the liquid ingredients. Let's scrape the bowl to make sure that there is no dry ingredients stuck on the bottom unmixed. Looks good. Time to add the second cup of flour and repeat on low speed just until combined. With the second cup of flour, we are adding 1 heaping teaspoon of baking powder, or you can call it 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 flat teaspoon of baking soda. Scrape everything down from the sides. And it's time to add half a cup more of flour. And I'm actually stirring in the final half a cup of flour with the spatula. I decided not to turn on my mixer. That way I can mix this in real well by pulling everything off the sides, and this will ensure I will not over mix it. And it is really well mixed, and I cannot tell you guys how good this already smells. I just want to show you the texture, the consistency it needs to be. It doesn't run like watery, too loose off the spatula, but it does easily flow off. There you go. But it does have some weight to it. And now it's time to add 2 cups of grated zucchini. This is my garden zucchini, first harvest of this year that our family is growing. And 2 cups means with water completely squeezed out. Grate it and leave it alone in a bowl for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, squeeze all of the excess liquid that you possibly can. So it's just 2 cups of zucchini without the zucchini juice, I guess. So Adding the zucchini in, as well as half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of chopped up walnuts or pecans. Get the nuts in and gently fold it all together to combine. And at that point, our batter is done, and I will pour it into my prepared 9 by 13 pan. Here we go. It looks really good, smells super yummy, and it's time to send it to the oven at 375 for the first 10 to 12 minutes, just so we can get that rise real fast. And then we're going to, after 10-12 minutes, reduce the heat to 325, and we're going to allow for the cake to finish baking until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out dry. Alright guys, and here's the frosting, and I'm gonna just tell you real quick. Whip 1 stick of soft room temperature butter together with 1 brick 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese for about 2 minutes until very well combined and fluffy. Then add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, and whip together real well. And then 1 cup at a time, whip in the total of 3 cups of powdered sugar, and your icing is done. And here's our cake. Look at this beautiful rise. And something else that I forgot to mention while I was making the batter, whenever we added that 3/4 cup of chopped pecans or walnuts, you can replace it with about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. That would also be absolutely amazing. And here it is. I just frosted it, and it's ready to be cut and enjoyed. And if you're dorky like me, take a spatula and just like swirl around and do your own version of Van Gogh's Starry Night, because why not? Right?